अरहंत सिद्ध सुर उपाध्याय साधु सर्व अर्थ के प्रकाशी मांगलिक उपकारी है। तीन को स्वरूप जानी रागते भई जो भक्ति काय को नमाय स्तुति को उच्चारी है। धन्य धन्य तुम्ही से काज सब आज भयो कर चोरी बारंबार वंदना हमारी है। मंगल कल्याण सुख ऐसो हम चाहते हो मेरी ऐसी दशा जैसी तुम धारी है। हो मेरी ऐसी दशा जैसी तुम धारी है। वंदितु सौव सिद्धे ध्रुव चलमणुवम गदिम पत्ते वोचामी समय पाहुड़ मेणमो शुद्ध केवली बणिदम। नमः समय साराय स्वानुभूत्या चकासते चित स्वभावाय भावाय सर्वभावांतर चिदे। So we will be starting from again we will repeat the verse number 2, only the part that we have in syllabus, and then we will move on to the verse number 3. Okay. So come to page number 28, Darshit ji. So verse number 2 was about that the soul that is established in belief, knowledge and conduct is to be known as Swa-Samay. Now Swa-Samay, Swa is self and Samay means soul. Okay. So self soul and the soul that is established in the units of karmic matter. Pudgal Karma Pradesh is to be known as Par Samay. Par Samay is non-self soul. Okay. So, the soul that is established in the units of karmic matter. Now, units of karmic matter, that means Pudgal Karma Pradesh. What does that mean? That means that the soul whose gaze or whose focus is the external substances and because of which the attachment, aversions and delusions manifest. Okay. And then the karmic matter acts as an instrumental cause. So, a soul that is established in the units of karmic matter means established in the delusion, attachment and aversion sentiments. Okay. So, those that are connected to the delusion, attachment and aversion is Parsamay, non-self soul, and the soul that is established in the belief, knowledge and conduct, which are the inherent nature of the soul, is to be known as Swasamay. This is the only meaning of the verse. Okay. Now the commentary is coming up by Acharya Amrit Chandra Dev. The soul established in its own nature is Swasamay, and the soul established in non-self dispositions, Parbhav, okay, is Parsamay. In both the state, Swasamay and Parsamay, the pervasive Pratyagatma, inner soul is Samay. So whether these are the two states, Swasamay is also a modification and Parsamay is also a modification. Okay. And the pure soul is devoid of both of these. Okay. Because Parsamay does not contain, pure soul does not contain any modification, whether pure or impure. Okay. So these two divisions, Swasamay and Parsamay, are the two divisions of the modification. Okay. And the pure soul, okay, the pure soul, the pervasive Pratyekatma inner soul is Samay. Okay. So the pure soul in both the state, the pure soul. So these are the two states, and the pure soul is pervasive in both these states. Okay. So when it takes shelter of your inherent nature, then he manifests as Swasamay, and when he takes shelter in the external substances, he manifests as Parsamay. Okay. In the original Gatha, only Swasamay and Parsamay have been defined. But Acharya Amrit Chandra Dev and Acharya Jai Sen first clarify the nature of Samay itself and then explains Swasamay and Parsamay. So now we will come to the discussion what is Samay. So now starts the Atmakhyati's Tika. Okay, the commentary by Acharya Amrit Chandra Dev is named by the Atmakhyati Tika. Okay, the word Samay is formed from the prefix sam with the root I. Sam plus I is Samay. So sam means simultaneously and I means movement and knowing, both. Okay. I has the meaning both of movement and of knowing, and the prefix sam means together or simultaneously. Thus that entity in which at one and the same time both the act of knowing and undergoing modification are found, that alone is Samay. Okay. So Samay is the name of the substance, okay, the soul substance, whose primary function is to know and undergoing modification. Okay. So in the modification there is always an origination and cessation happening, and at the same time the soul remains constant. Okay. So knowing and undergoing modification is the natural inherent nature of the soul substance, which is here mentioned as Samay. Okay. So that is the meaning of the Samay. Samay here means soul substance. Okay. And in the next word, again the Samay word will be used, but there it will mean 6 substances. Here only we are concerned with the soul substance. Okay. That is the difference. Since the jiva at every moment both knows and undergoes modification, therefore the substance called jiv is itself samay. Okay. So that same jiv substance is called samay here. Okay. That substance of jiv known as samay. Now the 7 points are coming up. Okay. Hope you have remembered the 7 points. Being subject to modification is endowed with an existence characterized by the unified experience of origination, destruction and permanence. So that substance of Jeev known as Samay has origination, destruction and permanence as its characteristics. Okay. Utpad Vyay Dravya. That is the first point. The second point, being of the nature of consciousness, it is eternally radiant, pure, and of the form of luminous perception and knowledge. Okay. That means it contains perception and knowledge. Janna dekna. Okay. It is of the nature of consciousness consisting of knowledge and belief. And first one, if we want to short it, we will say that it is endowed with existence characterized by origination, destruction, and permanence. So 2 points over. Third point, it manifests its dravyatva. What is this dravyatva? Dravyatva means substance, nature, as a single natured, ek dharmi, okay, which upholds infinite properties. Okay. So that substance is containing infinite properties. Okay. So number 3 in simple form would be, is one indivisible substance possessing infinite properties. Okay. One indivisible substance. Fourth point, being the possessor of modes and attributes, that have a unique nature of operating in sequential and non-sequential modes. Okay. So number 4, what is the simple term? Is endowed with non-sequential attributes, akarmvarti gunas, and sequential modes. Okay. So that same Samay is endowed with non-sequential attributes, that is guna attributes, and sequential modes, that is modification. Akramvarti and Kramvarti. Akramvarti is gun and Kramvarti is paryay.
Sir, sorry to interrupt.
Hmm.
Sir, it does it mean the is connected with Krambat Paryay?
Yeah, paryaya are always Krambad.
Huh.
Okay. So when it says that it is endowed with non-sequential attributes and sequential modes. So sequential modes means Krambad paryay. Kramvarti, one at a time, and this after this. That is also certain. One at a time is one thing, and this after this. That means the sequence, order of the sequence is also prefixed. Number 5, being capable of illuminating the self and the non-self, it has attained the state of unity, revealing all substances. Though manifold in forms, yet being endowed with the capacity of illuminating both self and non-self, it is of one unified nature. Number 6. And
Excuse me, Jay.
yeah,
But I can clarify the fifth point. What does the meaning of illuminating be here? Here also it is
it is
different.
swapar prakashak, swapar prakashak. It
What
illuminates the self and it illuminates the non-self also.
what does it mean then?
Because it is the soul is of knowing nature. So what
Okay.
it knows the self as well as the non-self. Because by
Okay.
nature, knowledge by itself is swapar prakashak. It is knowing the
Yeah.
self and the non-self.
Thank you, Jay.
Number 6. And since it is devoid of those specific attributes which belongs to other substances, okay, such as providing space for extension, being the cause of motion, being the cause of rest, being the cause of transformation, and having form. Okay. So these are specific attributes of the other 5 substances, and this soul is devoid of these specific attributes. Okay. And since it possesses the extraordinary nature of consciousness, so this is the specific attribute of the soul. Okay. And having form, and since it possesses that extraordinary nature of consciousness, it is entirely distinct from the other 5 substances. Okay. Space, motion, rest, time, matter. And the last point. Now, what is the shortened form of number 6? It's given in the next page. Owing to the presence of its extraordinary nature of consciousness and the absence of the specific attributes belonging to other substances, it is distinct from other substances. Okay. And the last point, that substance called the Jeev, though extremely closely associated through complete spatial interpenetration, okay, with infinite other substances, yet not being separate from its own nature. Okay, it never leaves its own nature. Although all the 6 substances are there in one place, okay, and through complete spatial interpenetration, but it remains its separate, distinct nature. Okay, is of the character of engraved and distinct consciousness. Okay, since all the 5 substances are non-conscious, they doesn't know and see, only soul's needs. So soul specific attributes makes the soul itself distinct from other substances. So this conscious nature is the specific attribute which distincts the soul from other 5 substances. Okay. even though extremely united with other substances by occupying common space points, yet not deviating from its own nature, it remains of the sharply distinct essence of consciousness. Okay, so its nature doesn't change, it remains the same. Although many other substances are there in the same space point, the soul uh, the soul maintains its individual entity by its conscious nature. This conscious nature is not present in any of the five substances. This is the specific attribute of the soul substance, and through this it maintains its distinctness from other substances. Okay, so 7 points. 7 points are given for explaining the soul substance. The soul substance which knows and simultaneously manifest. Okay, that same soul substance has been explained by 7 characteristics. Okay, such is the substance called Jeev, and that alone is Samay. Okay, now this Samay, the soul substance, when it manifests in the form of belief, right knowledge, and right conduct, then it is called Swasamay. And when it manifests uh, in the sentiments of delusion, attachments, and aversion, it is called Parsamay. Okay, so that same soul has got 2 types of manifestation. One manifestation when it takes its shelter in its inherent nature, and the other manifestation when it takes shelter in the external substance. Okay, so when it takes shelter in its own self, then it manifests as a Swasamay, and when it manifests in the external substance, it manifests as a Parasamay. Swasamay and Parasamay are 2 states of the modification, not the soul. The pure soul remains the same in both the states, unchangeable. Okay, now that is being explained here in the commentary by Acharya Amrit Chandra Dev, which is again a part of our syllabus. When this Samay, Jeev, by the rise of the light of discriminative knowledge. So this Samay, Jeev, only when you do Bhed Vigyan, by the rise of the light of discriminative knowledge, which gives rise to Keval Gyan. Okay, so whoever has manifested Keval Gyan, they also applied this means of Bhed Vigyan, discriminative knowledge. You have to practice discriminative knowledge. Okay, becomes capable of illuminating all substance. So when you manifest omniscience knowledge, it is capable of illuminating all substance. But when you practice Bhed Vigyan, it breaks its sense of oneness with all non-self substance. It breaks the connection. Since time immemorial, it was under the influence of delusion, and because of that, it was having oneness with all non-self substances. But now, just because of the light of discriminative knowledge, okay, it breaks its sense of oneness with all non-self substance, because the light of discriminative knowledge shows clear distinctions between the soul and the non-self substances, and abides in its own nature of belief and knowledge, darshan, gyan, swabhav. Okay, when its activity is directed towards such a self-essence, atma tattva, pure soul, becomes one with it, and as it remains established in belief, knowledge, and conduct, it knows and transforms itself as one unified entity at the same moment. Such a transformation is called Swasamay. Okay, Swasamay means the self. Swa is self. Samay here means the substance. Okay, as a self substance, self soul. When this Samay, now the Per Samay, the explanation is coming of the Per Samay. when the same soul, owing to the rise of delusion, which is nourished and deep-rooted like the knot at the base of a beginningless ignorance tree. So this banyan tree, it is at the base very thick, okay, very fat, because there is a knot, and when that knot touches the ground, another banyan tree comes up, okay. So that knot part which is at the base is very thick, okay. Similarly, this soul, owing to the rise of great delusion, okay, great delusion, acts under the dominance of that delusion. It severs means cut offs its connectedness with the self soul, okay, with the self essence, Atma Tattva, which is of the fixed nature of belief and knowledge. Yes, belief and knowledge, and through the instrumentality of external substance, Pardravya, becomes absorbed in the states of delusion, attachment, aversion. So one thing is very clear here, that delusion, attachment, aversion only manifest, okay, when there is an instrumentality cause of external substances like karma. It never manifested by taking shelter of the pure soul, okay. Then being situated in the spatial units of material karma, it simultaneously becomes one with the external and experiences transformations therein. Such a state is called parsamay, the mode directed towards the external. So now you understood that swasamay and parsamay are two states of the modifications. Uh, in both the cases, the soul is pervading in both. Okay. So when it takes shelter of the soul, it manifests as swasamay, and when it takes shelter of the delusions, attachments, and aversion, it manifests as parsamay. Okay. Now the last line of our syllabus, in this samay, Jeev, the twofoldness of swasamay and parsamay is revealed. Thus, in this samay, Jeev, the twofoldness, dvividta, of swasamay and parsamay is revealed. Okay. So this is the end of our syllabus for Gatha number 2. Okay. We will come to the last page of the Gatha number 2 for the conclusion. It's an interesting bit, and you will be also able to connect it. Come to page number, uh, 41. 41. Last three paragraph. In conclusion, yes, yeah. In conclusion, so this is the conclusion of the verse number 2. In conclusion, it can be said that the Jeev transformed into true righteousness. True righteousness means right belief, right knowledge, and right conduct. One minute. Yeah. Is the righteous Dharmatma is Swasamay. Okay. So when the soul transforms into true righteousness, it is Swasamay. And the Jeev devoid of transformation into righteousness, transformed instead into delusion, attachment, and aversion, is the unrighteousness. Adharmatma is Parasamay. Okay. So Swasamay and Parasamay clear. So now the question is that what we should do. whether we should manifest as Swasamay or Parsamay. So if you manifest as Parsamay, then you will be binding new karmas. And if you manifest as Swasamay, then you will be manifesting stoppage and dissociation of karmas. Okay. So it is prudence to be taking shelter of the self and manifesting as Swasamay. Okay. Self soul. Swasamay is to be adapted, of course. Upadey. Parsamay is to be discarded. Hey. Samay is the object of knowledge. Gne. Samay, the soul, is the object of knowledge. Gyan ka gne. Okay. And Samaysar, okay, is the object of meditation. Samay means dravya number 1 and Samaysar means object of meditation. Okay. So you need to do oneness in the Samaysar, which is the object of meditation, dhyay. Okay. Dhyan ka dhyay, gyan ka gney, or one more, Shraddha ka Shraddhe. Okay. This is the pure soul, Bhagwan Atma, supreme soul. Okay. That has to be the object of meditation. Through the knowledge, belief, and meditation directed towards the object of meditation in the form of Samaysar, Samay becomes Swasamay. Okay. Samay becomes Swasamay. And in the absence of the knowledge, faith, and meditation, faith would be belief. You can cut down and put it as belief. You have to keep uniform everywhere. Okay. You can cut down belief and meditation of Samaysar, it becomes Parsamay, transforming into delusion, attachments, and aversion. So very clear. Okay. Therefore, to understand the pure soul in the form of Samaysar, to establish identification with it and to meditate only on it is one's supreme duty. So in this particular verse, Acharya Dev is telling us what to do, what would be our effort. Okay. So in the last line it says, therefore to understand the pure soul in the form of Samaysar, to establish identification with it and to meditate only on it is one's supreme duty. This is what you should do. Okay. So when you have to when the Acharya gives us instruction for doing Purusharth, putting in effort, then it will explain like this, that there are two options. Either you can manifest this way or that way. This way if you manifest, it will be called Swasamay. That way you will manifest, it will be called Parsamay. And if you manifest as a Swasamay, okay, it is our supreme duty. Okay. So here the Acharya is defining the efforts. Now we will move on to the next verse, that is verse number 3, the next page.
Sir,
Huh?
I have a question.
Yeah.
So when we do Sway Samay, won't it lead to like Sata Vednya, like bondage of auspicious karmas?
See, Swasamay is a pure state now. Okay.
Yeah.
Swasamay is a pure state. So at that time, stoppage and dissociations are happening. Okay. Simultaneously, to the extent the attachments are there, to that level, the bondage is also happening. And of course, it is an auspicious bondage. Okay, no doubt about that. But the primariness is of stoppage and dissociation that is happening because of pure manifestation. Okay. So that has to be highlighted. And the bondage that is happening, which is very minuscule, because the Anantanubandhi Kashai has gone and the remaining 3 are not that powerful. It's just a drop in an ocean. So there is not much weightage in that. Okay. So the bondage is still there and it is an auspicious bondage, but it is not to be considered. Yeah.
So, sir, like, if we talk like in our current scenario, like, where we have Ananta Anubandhi Kashai,
Hmm.
if we do swapar,
Hmm.
swasamay,
Hmm.
in that case also, will we have dissociation?
So
Or
one
we
thing
will,
I want to clear first, why you
yeah,
say that you have Ananda Anubandhi Kashai?
sir, because
Because you don't
I'm
believe
not,
yourself to be a soul, right?
sir, because I'm not in the fourth Gunasthan.
Why you are not in the fourth Gunasthan? Why you are not the Gunasthan, you are the pure soul. You believe
Okay.
yourself to be pure soul. This Gunasthan is a state of modification, and we are not modification, right?
Yeah.
So instead of putting ourselves in the fourth stage or in the Anantanubandhi Kashai or in the Mithyatva stage, why can't we say that I am the pure soul, irrespective of the modifications happening? I am distinct from that modification. I am pure soul, always a knower. This is our inherent nature. Even if we don't accept it, we don't become the modification. We always remain this soul only, pure soul only, knower only, not a doer. We don't become a doer. Although we believe that we are a doer, we believe that I am under the influence of delusion. We believe that I have got Anantanubandhi Kashai. I am impure. You think yourself in that category, but you don't become one. That is the
Okay.
fact. So why don't accept the fact? Why can't you accept yourself as a pure soul, distinct from impure modification, distinct from pure modification? If the pure modification happens, there is nothing going to add up in my nature. And if the impure modification happen, there is nothing going to be subtracted from my nature. I am going to remain same in both the condition, whether swasamay or parsamay. I am the same soul. Okay.
Mhm.
So elevate yourself, take to this level. Okay. Never get
Okay.
tangled into modification, mithyatva, this anantanubandhi kashai. I am to now mithya drashti. Don't don't put these titles on you. This all
Okay.
this states that you are not accepting yourself as a pure soul. And the scripture says you are a pure soul. Every soul is a pure soul. Whether they believe it or they don't believe it, their nature remains the same. So by default, we are all pure soul. By default, we are all knower and not doer. Okay? So accept that fact. Acharya is saying that you accept. Just accept. Okay?
Mhm.
So never consider yourself with gunasthans, with modifications, with delusion, nothing. These are temporary phenomena, and I am a permanent entity, pure
Yeah.
soul. I am devoid of those pure stage and impure stage. Okay? Stages, I am devoid of stages. I am
Okay.
remain pure. When I was in one sense, at that time I was also pure. So when I was not knowing that I am a pure soul, nothing happened. I remained the same. And now when I know, when I have access to true gods, true scriptures, and true monks, then how can I consider myself to be body, to be sentiments, to be passions? Nothing. I am pure soul right now also. When nothing happened in the one sense state, what is going to happen right now? When I know
Yeah.
my true nature. Okay. So you have to elevate yourself in this way. Never put things in that way, because Jinwani is there for us, and Jinwani always regards us as the pure soul, and we have to accept it. And we are all pure soul. Okay.
Got it. Thank you, sir.
So Gunasthan is a stage, and I am beyond that stage. Okay. So never get into that trap. Okay. That is a trap. So once you consider yourself to be in the fourth stage, that means you are a modification. So what is the difference? From time immemorial, we consider ourselves to be a modification. From time immemorial, we were focusing on the modification. And still now we want to focus in the modification. then what is the change by having access to this Jinvani? Okay. So
Yeah.
Jinvani says you are a pure soul, you accept it. I accept it. Okay. So this is how you have to practice discriminative knowledge. The Acharyas, the Sarvagna Paramatma, all considers ourselves as pure soul. They see in us a pure soul. And we, on the contrary, sees ourselves as not a pure soul, mithya drashti, wrong believer, and then gunasthan and anantanubandhi kashai. Those things doesn't enter my boundaries. I'm that pure soul. जो कभी अशुद्ध हुआ नहीं, जिसे कभी शुद्ध
होना नहीं.
होना नहीं. Very good. This much confidence you have to bring in. But it's only the difference of confidence, nothing else. Okay, you may have very little knowledge. The souls in the subhuman state, they don't know the names of the 7 fundamental elements, and they still manifest right belief. On what basis? On this confidence only. Okay, so I am not a stage, I am not a modification, I am that eternal pure soul. Okay, जो कभी अशुद्ध हुआ नहीं, which never became impure, and the one which doesn't want to become pure also. So who will become pure? The one who is impure, they want to become pure. But I am not impure in the first place. I am pure from the beginning itself. Okay, so how come? So you have to take things in this perspective. Okay, so this is the
Got it.
perspective that Muniraj Padmapravaldhari Dev, the commentator, he has written a commentary on Niyamsar. Niyamsar is written by Kunkund Acharya Dev. Okay, and the commentary on that is written by Padmaprabal Mari Dev. Throughout the scripture, he played only one game, pure soul, pure soul, pure soul, everywhere. If the description is of non-soul substance, then he will say, I am different from that. If the description of medium of motion, then he will say that I am distinct from that. So in his mind, it was always the pure soul that was running and functioning. Okay. And from there, Swamiji also picked up that same methodology, the same mode of presentation, Bhagwan Atma, Bhagwan Atma, Bhagwan Atma. And that people who came from far off places with doubts in their mind for Swamiji, and when they came and listened to Swamiji, they all converted to, this Swamiji's faith. Because he was seeing everyone as Paramatma, everyone as Bhagwan Atma. That is our eternal nature. So the eternal nature never changes. Okay. You believed yourself to be a 1 sense, 2 sense, 3 sense, but you never become that. Okay. That is the icebreaker. Okay. So always think in that lines. Now coming back to your question, come again.
So the question was,
If someone,
if suppose in this moment I do Swa Samay, then
okay.
will I get will I get a what do you say, dissociation, or will I get
So,
Sata Vedana? Like
so, so,
auspicious
so,
formats.
so long you manifest as Swasamay, okay, you will have stoppage and dissociation running. At the same time, whatever attachments remains, through that attachment, there will be a mild bondage also, but that bondage would be of the auspicious nature. So it will always transform into Sata Vedniya, okay, and not Asata Vedniya. Okay, so not only this confidence not only helps us in enjoying our life, but at the same time it also binds auspicious karma as a byproduct. We are not concerned with that, but inevitably it binds auspicious karma, and when that comes into fruition, we get all the good association which is conducive to our manifestation of religion. Okay, so both things happen simultaneously. Whatever problem you are in, okay, just spend time on this understanding, just take shelter of your pure soul, and everything will turn around. It will turn around in such a manner that it is beyond your imagination. Okay. And I would share my experience that getting into this kind of understanding solved all my problem. I was in such a stressful life, you know, and that's why I always recommend this, that you study. And people, when there is a problem in their life, the first thing they leave it is this study only. But from here only the solutions are going to come. So you have to struggle a bit, but that struggle is not that much that you will broke, will never broke, will never break. On the contrary, those big problems will take the proportion of a very small problem. It will go away like anything. Okay. So this kind of transformations happens when you are very confident and ready to struggle, ready to face the challenges. Okay. Then it becomes an opportunity for you. Okay. So now
Thank you.
now the third gatha. Okay. In the second gatha, the twofoldness of Samay was explained. But such twofoldness is not praiseworthy. What is truly worthy of praise is unity. This is made clear in the third gatha. Okay. So in the third gatha, the Swasamay and Parsamay, twofoldness of Samay was explained. And those two states were part of the modification, because the pure soul remained the pure soul. In both the state, it was unaffected. Okay. So here it says, then when our true nature is such that we remain unaffected, when we remain one always, we never get connected to any other substances anytime, then why this question of per samay coming up? Why these narratives of per samay? Okay. So that is being explained here in verse number 3. एकत्व निश्चय गत समय सर्वत्र सुंदर लोके विसंवाद है परबंध की यह कथा ही एकत्व में. The Samay, the soul that has attained unity in reality. Unity in reality means it is always one. It has never connected to any other substances. It always remains as one. And that is the reality, that by nature itself, one soul cannot manifest, cannot transform into another substance, nor any other substance can transform as soul. Soul always remains soul. It always maintain its unified identity. Okay. So the Samay soul that has attained unity in reality, Ekatva Nischay, is everywhere beautiful in the world. Okay. That is beautiful. But when you connect yourself to other, then it becomes a contradiction, because there is no way one substance can connect to another substance. In reality, that does not happen. The nature of things says that one substance remains independent in itself. It never mixes with another substance. Okay. So where is the question of bondage? When I don't connect to any other substance, then why the bondage will happen? Okay. So that is in this way, Acharya Kunkund Dev is entering into the main theme of the Samaysar scripture. Okay. So this Ekatva Nischay, the unity in reality nature of the pure soul, that is what Kunkund Acharya wants to depict in this Samaysar scripture. Okay. So that Samay, the soul has attained unity in reality. is everywhere beautiful in the world. एकत्व सर्वत्र सुंदर लोक में. तो जो एकत्व को प्राप्त है वो सर्वत्र सुंदर. Everywhere it is beautiful. Okay. And ekatva is your nature, inherent nature. By default, you cannot connect to any other substance. You cannot connect to the body also. Although we are now contained in this body, but the soul's space point has never touched the body, and body's space point has never touched the soul. Same place, the karmas are also there, but the soul has never touched the karma, and the karma has never touched the soul. So this is by default our nature, unity in reality, ekatva nischay, and that is everywhere beautiful in the world. Even a single parmanu, the smallest particle of matter substance, is called atom. That single atom is also beautiful in the world. When it mixes with another atom and forms the skanda, what do we call skanda in English?
Molecule?
Not molecule. Molecule?
I don't know. I'm just saying, sir.
Skanda aggregates. I think they say it aggregates. Okay. So when one atom is there, it is beautiful in the world. When that atom.
Is it Vargana?
Huh?
Is it Vargana?
No. Skanda. I think it's called aggregate. I think it's aggregate. I'll just check.
That is the atom of same type and they are connected. They are called as skanda. Am I right?
Yeah. They are called as skand. So single atom is beautiful in the world, but when it connects with another atom and forms a skand, then the impurity sets in. Okay. Therefore, within that unity, the notion of bondage with another is discordant, contradictory. When the soul does not touch any other substance, where is the question of bondage coming up? It's a very important logic given by Acharya Kunkundev, and Acharya Amritchandra Dev in the commentary has gone further. So let's see it, and again we'll come back to it. Every substance finds its beauty within itself. Okay. The talk of bondage with another, of mixture with another, is discordant, contradictory, absurdity. Okay. Therefore, if one wishes to avoid discord, it is best to adopt unity. Ekatva nischay sarvatra sundar lok mein. By default, we are all ekatva. We never lose our identity. We never, what you can say, we cannot never connect with any other substances in this universe. We will always remain one with body, with karma, although we have been associated since time immemorial, but never we touch this body or karma, forgetting about the influence. Okay. So this is the unique characteristics of the pure soul that is being defined here by Acharya Kunkunudev, and that is going to be the theme of the whole Samaysar. In the whole Samaysar, the Acharya Kunkundev and Acharya Amritchandra Dev will try to show you the true nature of this pure soul, unity in reality. Okay, that unity only, that is the subject matter of Samaysar. Okay, throughout it will show this unity, and then what you have to do? You have to accept. Yes, I am untouched. I am untouched by karma. I am untouched by body. I am untouched by any of the emotions that is happening in the modification of the soul. Okay. I am different from all this. I am distinct from all this. I never lose my distinct identity. Okay. So this is our true nature. So we have to accept it. And the moment we accept it, we start enjoying it. Okay. So to realizing the truth, understanding the truth is a great effort in the path of liberation. Okay. Now comes the commentary by Acharya Amritchandra Dev. Okay. So this is again a part of our syllabus. From the beginning to end of this commentary is our part of syllabus. I'll read one by one line and I will explain simultaneously. In Atma Khyati, this verse is present in the following manner. So whenever it says Atma Khyati, it is always Acharya Amrit Chandra Dev. Here by the word Samay, all substance are generally meant. In the verse number 2, by Samay, only pure soul, the soul that knows and manifests into modification, that was considered. Here, all the 6 substances are being considered. Here, by the word Samay, all substances are generally meant, because that which in a unified manner, okay, in a unified manner, eki bhav, attains its own attributes and modes. Gun paryay is called samay. Okay. That which in a unified manner. So this is true for all the 6 substances, not only soul. This is true for all the 6 substances. All the 6 substances attain its own attributes and modes. This is the structure, this is the inner engineering of a substance. Okay, is called samay. So samay here means substance. Substance means 6 substances, not only soul substance but all the 6 substances. According to this derivation, dharma, adharma, space, time, matter, and Jeev. All these substances of the universe are denoted by the word Samay. So Samay means all the 6 substances, okay? And by attaining unity in reality, okay? Unity in reality, Ekatva Nischay, okay? And by attaining Ekatva, unity in reality, they acquire beauty. So long it remains one pure, it is beautiful. When it mixes with another, then the contradiction starts. Okay? Because that is not the inherent nature. That is not the unique nature of the substance. Okay? Substance remains aloof with all other substances, never mixes. Okay? So in any condition, we have been transmigrating since time immemorial, but we never touched any other substance in the universe. Okay, so our unique identification is still the same untouched substance. Okay, and by attaining unity in reality, they acquire beauty. The purport means tatparya, okay, essence. The purport is that each of them, when considered alone, is inherently admirable. Okay, when considered alone is inherently admirable, for if viewed otherwise, it would give rise to fault of mixing. Okay, when viewed otherwise, it would give rise to fault of mixing, etc. Sankar adi dosh. Okay. So the soul never becomes a body, body never becomes a soul. They both remain distinct in itself, independent in itself, complete in itself. Okay. Now the next page. Still the commentary is continuing. In this particular paragraph, 4 points have been described about the same substance. Here samay means 6 substance. It could be anything. It could be soul, it could be matter, it could be dharma, it could be adharma, it could be akash, it could be kal. Okay, all the 6. Now all these 6 have these 4 unique characteristics. So 7 characteristics we studied in the second, and this extra 4 characteristics all put together is the summary of Pravachansaar and Panchastikay. Just imagine, whole scripture you are getting in just 2 verses, and that also 11 characteristics, 4 here and 7 there. So 7 and 4 also, some of them overlap also, but never mind. So here these 4 are explained. All these substances, okay, remain absorbed within their own dravyas, that is substances, and as if kissing or touching, they come into contact with the cycle of their own infinite properties. So they kiss and touch their own properties, own attributes, own nature, and own power, but never non-self nature, non-self power, nothing. Okay. As if kissing or touching, they come into contact with the cycle of their own infinite properties, Ananda Dharma, yet they do not touch one another. Okay. So one substance cannot touch another substance. Okay. They do not touch one another, but they do touch their own properties, because that is their wealth, own properties, own attributes. So they do touch their own properties, okay, cycle of own properties, but not the non-self substances. Yet they do not touch one another. So this is the first point. Now second point, though they exist in extremely close proximity, same as in the seven, we discussed the 7 characteristics in the verse number 2. This point is being repeated. Though they exist in extremely close proximity, sharing the same spatial points, ek kshetra avga, still they never deviate from their own inherent nature. They maintain their identity, right? They never mix up with any other substances. Swaswarup. Still they never deviate from their own inherent nature, Swaswarup. Third point. Because they do not undergo transformation into the form of others, Parrup Parinaman, their infinite individuality, okay, their infinite individuality, Anant Vyaktitva, okay, Anant Vyaktitva, Anant Vyaktita is never lost. So their individuality is never lost. You are a soul, your individuality is never lost. I am a soul, my individuality is never lost. I don't touch you, you don't touch me. Okay. Similarly, I don't touch any of the other 5 substances, and the other 5 substances doesn't touch me. So each substance maintain their individual identity. Okay. So this is the third point. Because they do not undergo transformation into the form of others, their infinite individuality is never lost. Therefore, like figures engraved upon a coin, okay? If the figures are engraved on a coin, they will never go away. They will never get destroyed, okay? Because it is engraved, okay? They remain eternally constant. Okay. So this is a third point continuing, and now the fourth point is starting. So each individual substance retains its identity, retains its separate entity, okay, and their individuality is never lost. Therefore, like figures engraved upon a coin, they remain eternally constant in them. And number 4, through their causal participation, cause and effect, karan, okay, and through their causal participation, hetu means karan, okay, through their causal participation, not casual, this is causal, and through their causal participation in all mutually opposed and non-opposed function. So what is this opposed function and what is this non-opposed function? So opposed function is Utpad Vyay. Utpad and Vyay are opposites. One is origination, other is cessation. Okay. So they are opposite. So that's why it is called, and through their causal participation in all mutually opposed and non-opposed functions. So what is this non-opposed function? Non-opposed function is gun. Okay. So all gun remain simultaneously in the same place without entering one another. Okay. Aviruddh karya. So viruddh karya. So the origination and cessation happening in the modification is viruddh karya, opposed function, and non-opposed function is about the attributes, gun, aviruddh karya. Okay. They uphold the universe perpetually in a continuous manner and render functionality to the world. Okay. So each substance, not only soul substance we are talking about, all the 6 substances have these 4 characteristics. All these substances remain absorbed within their own dravyas, and they do touch their own infinite attributes, but they do not touch another substance attributes. Okay. They do not touch any other substances. That is first point. Though they exist in extremely close proximity, but they never lose their inherent nature. Okay. Third point, because they do not undergo transformation into the form of others, their infinite individuality is never lost. Therefore, like figures engraved upon a coin, they remain eternally constant, unchangeable, eternal. Okay. And fourth point, through their causal participation in all mutually opposed and non-opposed function. That means in all modification and attributes, they uphold the universe. The whole universe is running on auto mode. Okay. Because there are 6 substances category wise, and each substance is having these 4 characteristics. So it does not touch one another, all remain, every substance remains its individual entity. Okay. That is never lost, is never mixes up with the another substance. Okay. So through this, they uphold the universe perpetually and render functionality to the world. So the universe is running based on this structure, the structure of each substance independently functioning on its own. Okay. Still 2 paragraphs are remaining. We will see this. In this way, when the distinct oneness, bhinna bhinna ekatva of all substance is established, that is, when each substance individuality is firmly affirmed, that means its individuality will never be lost. It will always retain its individuality. That is the entity of each and every substance. Not only soul substance, we are talking of all 6 substances. Then upon the establishment of this oneness, an objection arises to the doctrine of bondage in relation to the entity called Jiva. So all other 5 substances, they don't have any problem because there is no bondage for them. Only the soul. Okay. The purport is then when all substances are mutually distinct. Okay. Let me repeat again. In this way, when the distinct oneness of all substances is established, that is when each substance individuality is firmly affirmed, then upon the establishment of this oneness, an objection arises to the doctrine of bondage, bandhan katha, bondage katha in relation to the entity called Jeev. So other 5 substances are not having bondage, so why the soul is having bondage? That is the question. The purport is that when all substances are mutually distinct, independent, okay, then why is the phenomena of bondage spoken of only with reference to the jiva? Okay. So when each individual substance remains mutually distinct, okay, then why this phenomena of bondage spoken of only with reference to the Jeev? Why Jeev is under the influence of bondage? Why the karmas are there with the Jeev? Why the fourth state of existence? Why the transmigration? All these statements becomes invalid, because when you are certain that there could not be any touching affecting any other substance, then where is the cause of bondage? When you don't mix with another substance, how the bondage will happen? Okay. This will be explained in the next paragraph. This is the last paragraph for this verse number 3. When the very concept of bondage does not stand, then the assertion based on it that the jiva abides in the Pudgal Pradesh. Abides in the Pudgal Pradesh means manifests as attachment, aversion and delusion. Also cannot stand. And on that same basis, the notion of par-samaipana too cannot remain. When there is no par-samaipana, then how can the division of swasamay and par-samay, which depends upon it, continue to exist? When this division itself ceases, then the oneness of samay is thereby established, and that alone is spiritually excellent. So this is what Acharya Kunkundev wants to establish in Samaysar, that you are always a pure soul, you have not touched any other substances, okay? Just believe in yourself. Believe in yourself, that means believe in yourself that you are a pure soul. Believe in pure soul. Believe in your identity. You are always complete in itself. You are always complete. You don't require any help from any other substance because you are complete in yourself. You don't touch each other. You don't affect each other. Okay. So all this independence, when you have this understood in your knowledge, then automatically there is no fear, no tension, no depression. You just enjoy eternal bliss. Okay. Now the last paragraph. Again I am repeating. When the very concept of bondage does not stand, then the assertion based on it that the jiva abides in the Pudgal Pradesh also cannot stand. And on that same basis, the notion of par-samaipana too cannot remain. When there is no par-samaipana, then how can the division of swasamay par-samay, which depends upon it, continue to exist? When this division itself ceases, then the oneness of samay is thereby established. Okay. And that alone is spiritually excellent. Okay. So establishing this oneness of the samay is going to be the theme of Samaysar in this scripture. Okay. Going forward, everywhere Acharya will try to show you this ekatva nischay gat. So ekatva, that means swa se ekatva and par se vibhakt. So different from non-self and oneness with self. That is going to be the theme of Samaysar. Acharya Kunkundev will try to show you this oneness of the soul everywhere, and you have to just accept it. And the moment you accept it, you become like that, become one with that. Okay, one with that means you attain your true identity. Your true identity is such. I'll give you one example. Within 2 minutes, we'll finish. There was one flock of sheep. Okay. One day, one lion's cub joined that flock, and the master was guiding all the sheep. Do this, do that, do this, do that. And lion also thought that, oh, I am that only. So he also started obeying. Okay. And he himself believed him to be a sheep, whereas she was a lion. Okay. But she believed herself to be sheep. So he was going along with them every day, playing with them, eating with them, sleeping with them. So this routine was going on. One day in the jungle, there was one adult lion. So this was a lion cub, and he was groomed in that way. So he thought that now he is a sheep. So one day they encountered one big lion, okay, and he roared, and all the sheep fled. But this lion cub was there, stand still. Why? Because originally he was a lion, she was a lion. I think he will take the example of he only. He was a lion, okay? But because living with this sheep in the flock of sheep, he himself believed to be a lion. But he never became a lion, he never became a sheep, right? He believed himself to be sheep, eating together, sleeping together, playing together. So he thought that I am a sheep, okay? And he was obeying the instruction of his masters. But when the lion came and roared, everyone fled because everyone was fearful. Because sheep, by its inherent nature, they are fearful, okay? And particularly with lion, they are very fearful. So all the sheep fled, but this cub, who was lion's kid, right? He remained standstill because he never feared. And then he realized that, oh, I am the lion. I mistook myself to be a sheep, but I never became one. Similarly, we are all pure soul. This oneness in reality, that is what Acharya Kunkundev is going to depict in this Samaysar. And we will read some, we will repeat this verse and then again move to the fourth verse, okay, in the next class. In meantime, I will try to write a summary myself, time permitting. I'm very serious in writing the gist of all the colors and of all the Samaysar, for my own studies, So I will try to write. If I'm writing, I will share with you. Okay. Otherwise, you at your end try to write individually. And otherwise, if I write, I will definitely share. Okay. So this is it. So next week, if you happen to have a time, then I have given colors number 1, 2, and 3 to 2, 3 students. If you are comfortable, you explain. Otherwise, no compulsion. Okay. And then somebody has to, Darshiti, since you have done number 2, you only summarize verse number 2. Okay. But only the portion that is there in our syllabus. I'll just take you to that portion. Today we touched that portion. Yeah. Today we touched, so you have marked it. What is there in the syllabus, that only you summarize. Okay. So then confusion will be less, and I think it will become clear to everybody as we move forward. Okay. Okay.
Sir, just one question, sir.
Yeah.
I'm not able to upload on the Moodle. I don't know why it's not.
No problem. Just mail me, and
I mailed it to you.
that is a very perennial problem with Moodle all the time. But
Thank you,
I
sir.
have told Darshit to contact Virendra Patni ji. He is looking after all these complaints, and there are a lot of complaints coming in the group every now and then. But this is something beyond our control, so we will not waste time after that. As far as we are concerned, we want to enjoy.
Another thing, sir, every time we go into the Moodle, I get a Gmail saying somebody has hacked into your account. Is it you?
Forget
every
it.
time it's the
Even
same.
if they hack it, they are not going to take away our money, and what is ours will remain with ours. So leave it, because that's happening I'm getting this complaint every now and then in that group, So in that group, Darshit is also there, right, Darshit?
Yeah,
Team
so
leaders group.
if you don't mind, if I can give an update, please.
Pardon?
So if I can just give you an update after our small messaging that we did today.
Okay.
So I know Rajeshji and Subaji has tried to upload their assignments. Unfortunately, what happened is that the video that they've produced on how us team leaders should do it is all in Hindi, and I'm very weak in my Hindi. So I got in touch with Aditi ji. You know, she's
Okay.
actually not joining most of our classes. So she's got the passwords and everything. So she says she's gonna have a look at it tonight.
Okay.
And
Good.
then she will try and do it for us or guide me. But again, this Subhaji had the same issue as Rajeshji, where this email, when she's tried to log in, and then she, you know, the worry that the students have is that they're getting hacked. So I don't think there's a hack or anything like that going on.
Yeah, but the
But
message comes, and many a times this message comes. So in the group, every now and then this kind of messages are coming, but they are handling it. I don't know how good they are handling it, but I have given up on them. I get
it's been a bit
I
lost,
get
to be
all my
honest.
assignments on my email, so I check from that. I will give you marks from that. If in future if the Moodle is working, then you can upload also. The idea of uploading in the Moodle is that, you know, when you want to revise, you can at a glance see your Moodle account and revise the topics. That's the purpose. So if it is working, it is fine. If it is not working, don't worry. You can just send me across, mail me across. I will do the checking. Okay.
But so we lose marks then, really
Why?
speak. I thought that the Moodle will automatically
No.
cut
I
marks.
get the marks done. You this semester, everyone got the marks, no?
Yeah.
So will not have any problem. Let them say, but I can manage.
Okay, fine.
Okay.
Okay. Thank
But
you.
if you are getting solution from Aditi ji or Patni ji, please do it. So
Sure.
if it's a technical problem, we can always learn from it, you know.
Sure.
But if it's a continuous problem, then something has to be done. Okay.
Okay.
निज निधि निज में बताई यह अनंत उपकार है उसके लिए जिन वाणी माँ को वंदना सत बार है उसके लिए जिन वाणी माँ को वंदना सत बार है 9 times नमोकार मंत्र